Marconi interviews.
Hey, this is Rhett and Link from YouTube, host of Good Mythical Morning, and you are listening to Marconi.
Their very popular YouTube series, Good Mythical Morning, is returning Tuesday, September 3rd. Joining me now are Rhett and Link.
Rhett and Link here.
Hello. How are you, fellas?
Fabulous.
I am such a huge fan. I discovered you from the React videos with the Fine Brothers.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Sometimes you don't know someone, and then you see them in a collab, or you see them in a bunch of other things, and you're like, I should probably check them out.
So it worked.
So yeah, I did, and I fell in love.
So what's the first thing you saw once you clicked over to our channel or whatever?
Oh my gosh. The things that stick out now are like the caption fail videos.
Also part-time, due respects to go. I was in your science, you got me at all. You fair homie, you plan on me, you ban only, baby.
And I love the old guys, you guys, like the men who can't pee.
Hello, I'm Arnold Jernigan Sr.
And I'm R.R. Barefoot.
R.R.?
That's right. Rusty Ray Barefoot. That's my full name.
No one's ever called you R.R. though.
Well, for the commercial, it's kind of like that R.R. Tolkien, the guy who made those Lord of the Flies movies. Real fancy.
Well, I'm changing mine too. Hello, I'm Emperor Arnold Jernigan I.
Cut.
Prostate engorgement often leads to trouble with urination.
Prostate enlargement.
But wouldn't engorgement be an issue?
I don't know. Like, seriously, I don't know how you go through that with straight faces. I mean, I know you break up once in a while, but I don't know how you do it as long as you do without breaking up.
Well, there's a lot of editing involved.
Right.
We just legitimately get angry with each other, and that helps a lot, I think. But yeah, it's interesting to kind of hear the story of how you found us. It's helpful for us to kind of, as a data point, to figure out, what should we be doing?
What I love is that you guys literally, to me, like, are doing exactly what you want to do, and you've had probably the most commercial success of any other YouTuber, right?
We've done a lot of different things.
It may be safe to say we've sold out. Just as
No, that's not what I mean. That's not what I meant at all.
Yeah, well,
we're okay with that.
Yeah, we kind of we attempted to create a way to make a living doing this before there was a lot of people doing this for a living, you know. So in that sense, yes, we've had a lot of commercial success, but it's been it all kind of comes back to YouTube, and that's what we continue to do, and that's the bread and butter of what we're going to keep doing. So,
well, I'm very excited about the return of Good Mythical Morning. I feel pretty lucky that I have a job, that I have a chance to expose people to YouTubers I think are great, like you guys.
Well, we appreciate it. We like exposure. I recently well, not too recently, but my wife and I, the last trip just the two of us took, we went to Dominican Republic, and a lot of people from Spain in the resort that we were staying in, and the Spaniards, they like to wear the Speedos, and so there's lots of exposure there. That's what I'm saying. But
I see.
After a couple of days, I was like, I've never done that. I'm an American. I cover my thighs. But then one day I was just laying there on the beach, and I said, you know what? I'm gonna expose myself. But I had on these like tighty whities. They weren't white, but they were tight. They're briefs. I had on brief underwear, is what I'm trying to tell you, underneath my board shorts. So I took off my board shorts and just laid there for a little bit.
That's not exposing yourself. I don't think you quite understand.
I totally understand. My thighs were exposed.
You exposed your thighs. You didn't expose yourself.
Right. I mean, this is a form of exposure right here. There's many different levels of exposure. I'm saying I became comfortable with a greater level of exposure in the Dominican Republic.
Okay.
Which now makes me happy to be in this conversation.
Because, Link, didn't you recently go to SeaWorld? And
you are a bona fide stalker. Yes, I did.
And you rolled up your sleeves or something like that, and that maybe was the start of your exposure, like a bridge to this much exposure.
That's right. With so much sun, I didn't want my tan line to be mid-bicep. I wanted it to be at the termination of my collarbone, at the top of my shoulder. So I rolled my sleeves up. And that's an Eastern European thing. is what Rhett tells me. So maybe I'm just becoming.
Spain is Western Europe, though.
Oh, really?
You need to get your geography right, too.
Spain is. No, it's
not Eastern Europe.
It's to the left. That's the east.
Wrong again.
It's to the east of us. If I was going to go to Spain, which way would I travel?
East or west, depending on the airline.
Are you saying we're on the opposite side of the world from Spain?
The world is round. The world is a sphere.
We're not. If I drilled through the earth here in Los Angeles, I would not come up in Spain.
Come up in China.
Right. So there's got to be a way. There's got to be a choice.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe this could be the Rhett and Link movie, drilling to Spain.
Journey to the center of the earth.
How do we get
and
to
beyond to Spain?
I mean, because you guys have done Good Mythical Morning, and now it's returning. We're all excited about that, and people who don't know about it, you should check out youtube.com/Rhett and Link 2. Right? Is it going to be on the second channel?
Yeah, it's going to be on the 2, the creatively named Rhett and Link 2.
and it starts on Tuesday, and then is it every day? Or how many? And I always ask this because I never know, because it's like a television show where you have episodes. You don't do it forever until eternity, until you die, but you make it special. It's like, enjoy it now because it's not going to go on for eternity.
Well, this will be season 4?
Yeah, season 4.
So we break it up into seasons. Typically, the way that YouTubers work, I mean, especially vloggers, is that they'll commit to something and they will never stop. And so that is the norm for the for internet programming. But we just can't live with ourselves doing something being committed to doing something forever. So we kind of trained our audience to expect some breaks occasionally, and then we call those seasons.
And it also gives us a chance to, as you'll see when we launch season 4, to make some changes. I mean, I think it's the same show. It's going to look a little bit different. There's going to be some other subtle changes to it, but we have time to kind of sit back, analyze it, and say, how can we make this show a better experience for people? So we've done that. Season 4, I think, will be the most different. Definitely visually, we've Instagrammed a couple of sneak peeks of some things, some set changes that we've made, but that's another reason that we break it up.
That's good. I think because you're right, and I've thought this a lot of times about some of the vloggers, like Charles Trippy from CTFC. They just got a Guinness World Record for the most consecutive vlogs every single day for like almost 4.5 years now. I'm like.
Yeah, that is amazing. But there's no money that changes hands when you get a Guinness World Record. Right. That's why we let Charles and Allie do that.
Right, exactly. It's true. I'm like you guys in the fact that I like to create something and then take a break from it, take a breather. Like an artist might make an album and then go away for 3 years, and then they come back and they say, "Hey, I'm back," and everybody's excited. And I think that's with Good Mythical Morning. Everybody's excited to hear it and see it again.
Yeah, and I think with this time around, Rhett's talking about some of the changes. I think it's going to feel the same. It's just going to be the two of us shooting the breeze. But I think when it comes to what we're talking about, we're trying to be more strategic about tailoring our conversations to be more clickable so that we can grow our audience. And when you click on it, it kind of delivers on whatever the title promises a lot quicker. I think we would beat around the bush a lot, and I think now we've just we've mowed the bush down entirely.
Wow.
Yep. Full exposure here.
You guys do a great job just being conversational, and I said from the first time I heard or watched Good Mythical Morning, I was like, this could be a radio show. I think it would kill these guys to do it every day, but it would be an amazing radio show.
We certainly value editing ourselves on the fly as opposed to in post very highly. I mean, that was when we came up with the show concept. That was kind of the starting point for us, is that our show would be an anti-vlog. I mean, Rhett and I have been having conversations with each other since we met in first grade. So we're very good at talking to each other. And so we wanted to tailor the show to be something that was not cutty, but that was the opposite. So for us, we just want to continue to hone the skill of editing ourselves on the fly. And it's just a different thing. There's not many people on YouTube who are doing that, who want to do that even. But we want to be, we'd rather edit in our heads than edit on a computer and make it something different.
And I think it has to do, honestly, also with the fact that there are two of us. Even if we wanted to do a very jump cutty vlog, it's a very different thing with one person versus two.
Yeah.
We kind of keep the pacing up by bouncing off of one another, and so I think we definitely kind of discovered it. But you mentioned it's like a radio show. We definitely have gotten that comment a lot, and I think that's how we approach it. We when we think about the subject matter, when we think about the way that we incorporate our life story, we'll do anything. We'll talk about something personal that happened. We'll talk about a news story. We'll talk about a YouTube video. It's very much a morning radio show mentality, and the kinds of things that people connect with. They're kind of tuning in to hang out, as opposed to learn about the same type of thing every day.
Yeah, and I like it too because you guys are, and I don't even know if it's intentional or not, but you guys are friendly pretty much to any audience. Like you could put this on in front of kids, you could put it on in front of adults. It's entertaining and fun. That sounds so cheesy. For everyone.
No, yeah, that's definitely something that we've noticed when people come up and say, we watch Good Mythical Morning, we enjoy you guys' content. It'll be anywhere from there might be a 45-year-old mom and dad with a teenager son, and we can't really tell who's a bigger fan. I think that's a good thing. We're embracing that.
And it's all types of intelligence levels too. I mean, we've got really stupid people and really smart people.
Right. You guys have had a lot of exposure on big television shows and stuff like that, and the Today Show and a bunch of other national shows. How does that? Do you guys freak out when you see that, or is it like, yeah, of course, it was awesome?
We've had that happen with a few different things, and I think that the first time it happened, we were like, oh man, this is we're going to see this huge increase in traffic, to our videos because it's the new audience. And I think the reality was it was a very cool experience, and it's very validating to see how it's resonating with those outlets. But it's funny how little crossover there is between people who watch the Today Show and people who consume YouTube videos as their primary source of entertainment. I think we've noticed that all the times that certain things when we've had videos that have done really well in those traditional media outlets. They make good news stories. Lots of blogs pick them up, and then they'll just be sort of. I mean, that's a great example. The All Night Long got all that exposure, but it didn't really get that much traffic on YouTube because I think mainly because most of the 13 to 17-year-olds have no idea who Lionel Richie is.
YouTube All-Stars Rhett and Link decided to take Lionel Richie's song All Night Long literally by singing it all night long. They serenaded Los Angeles from sundown to sunrise, more than 11 hours.
Once you get started, you can't sit down.
So it's an interesting thing when that happens. I mean, we obviously appreciate it and want it to continue to happen. But it's funny how there's little crossover.
Do you guys get approached by, say, like The Tonight Show or Jimmy Kimmel Live to, like, do segments for them? I think, like, that, for example, All Night Long would have been a perfect late night talk show segment. And if you were asked, would you do something like that?
We have not been approached in that manner. It does make sense. I mean, we certainly conceptualize a lot of our main channel content in being inspired by something that Kimmel would do or something that Fallon would do or Conan would do. But I mean, the worlds are still so separate that there's just not a lot of overlap. I mean, certainly a highlight of our career was when we were guests on Conan, but that was because we had a television show on IFC, and they had a marketing team which had a relationship with Conan and kind of helped make that happen. But yeah, other than that, we haven't seen. The worlds still seem pretty separate.
Isn't it weird that that traditional media hasn't really accepted like YouTuber as like a thing. Like it's still that separation, like you said. It seems like maybe it's because of their fear of what's new and what's on the horizon, and maybe their thought that they can't do that, or the young guy coming up is going to take what they have or something. I would say that everyone should embrace it because there's a lot of creativity going on.
Yeah, well, I think about the way that the traditional media outlets refer to YouTubers, and we're probably not even that great of an example because, we've got a big following on YouTube, but we're not in the top tier of YouTube. Like somebody like Smosh, over 10 million subscribers, I'm sure over a billion or a few billion views, whatever it is. And if they were interviewed on the news or they were talked about in a traditional media outlet, they would call them these guys from the internet. They would be like, these guys who have a YouTube channel. Whereas if they were to interview a traditional celebrity, they wouldn't. If they talk about Robin Williams, somebody who's not even that popular anymore, they would just be like, Robin Williams. It would be like, that guy from TV and movies,
right.
Robin Williams.
Exactly.
So there's still this qualifier that comes with anyone who is well-known online, when the fact is that somebody like Smosh, there's not a kid in America who doesn't know who they are.
I even bought their magazine.
Yes, exactly. And so it's I don't know when that's going to end. I think it's going to end when the people who enjoy this type of content is their primary source of entertainment. They're the ones who are running the media outlets at that point.
And I think, of course, you guys have had experience doing television shows, but Good Mythical Morning and The Mythical Show, they're produced and so well thought out. I feel better than most television shows.
I appreciate that. The best TV is still better than almost any other form of entertainment. I'll be the first to say that the best TV. I think the thing that we've got going for us is that we can create something like the shows that we've created with very little input. It's for the most part just our vision, and I think when you can execute your own vision without having to go through many layers of notes, that in general things will turn out better. My impression with traditional mediums is that there's a lot more layers and oversight and opinions, and things tend to get watered down. It's certainly on us. If something's not great on our channel, then it is, there's no excuses. Even with branded integration things that we're doing. We're still learning so much. I appreciate what you said, but we certainly have a sense that we're not there, but that we want to be. We want to keep getting better and keep upping our game because the competition is getting stiffer, and we gotta grow our audiences. And if I have to continue to expose myself, I will. Let's go back to that.
I was going to ask, who has the best hair between the two of you?
I don't know. I think Rhett's hair gets a lot more attention.
I think
it's more dangerous. I think it could poke you in the eye and hurt you.
No, it's soft. Most of the people who
looks dangerous.
Have touched it will attest to the fact that while it looks stiff, it's actually very soft.
Now, you do realize that changing the subject to hair is now going to lead to at least a 60-minute conversation where you're going to have a hard time getting a word in edgewise.
That's what I like. No, would you ever consider, how about a Rhett and Link line of wigs?
Ooh.
A line of wigs consisting of two.
Hold on. That is actually an incredible idea.
We have to work on our supply chain.
Incredible idea.
Incredibly stupid.
I don't know how much wigs are cost to manufacture.
We got to work on our supply chain for the.
You guys met in first grade, and you did a whole documentary on finding your teacher. That was it Miss Locklear?
Yeah.
Have you guys known each other for 25 plus years or something like that?
I'm going to have to do math.
Plus, yes, 25 plus.
That's crazy. So, obviously, it's like any relationship. There's ups and downs, and you guys probably have fights. What's the stupidest thing you guys have argued about?
It's pretty... a lot of things.
We're going to have an argument about our hair once we get off of this phone call. like, why did you say that about my hair? That it was sharp, that it would poke you in the eye. You know that's not true. That's what Rhett's gonna say. What's the last fight?
Do you ever go
fight over lunch because I cut him off in conversation.
Yeah, he did.
I didn't hear you speaking.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I mean,
that's the problem. You're in your own world. It's okay,
but it's a great world.
Well, to you.
Do you ever get to a point where you don't speak for periods of time out of that kind of argument anger?
No, it hasn't gotten to that point. Maybe it will someday. But I think that at some...
Hopefully it will.
I think at some point... I don't know what age it is, but at some point your estrogen levels start going up, and I think at that point we'll probably get along even better than we do now.
But there'll be hot flashes.
Yeah, I think we do have time apart. There's, we don't live together.
Homes.
Yeah, we have separate families.
We have separate wives, separate children.
That helps. Yeah, we take separate vacations. Although there was talk of taking
a corporate
vacation.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because Rhett and Link is a corporation. Is that crazy when you say that? Or are you so used to it now, doing it so many years, that it's not a big deal? But still, like, you guys are innovators and pioneers of what you're doing.
Yeah, I mean, you have to be businessmen as well, and that's we don't get terribly excited about being ruthless businessmen, but we've never killed anybody.
and you have yet to like oversell your audience, like with a line of wigs or anything like that. So
yeah, right.
But that's to come. I mean, it doesn't mean you shouldn't.
Which one would you buy, sir?
Man, that's a good question. I think because I kind of have more of an up. My hair's curly, and it's kind of an up, sort of like Rhett's a little more. So maybe I would try something different and go with the Link wig.
Well, his would be cheaper, so.
But it would have to come with.
It'd be a lot more realistic as a wig because it covers the hairline. Yours you're going to have issues with the hairline. It's not going to look real. Because I mean, we're going for toupee level here. We're not going for just like a party city. I'm talking about bald men who want to get dates from women who only date men with hair. Yeah. That's our market.
I think I'm talking about like Halloween costumes.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because
that's different. I mean, that's pretty presumptuous. I'm gonna sell my own Halloween costume. Selling your own wig it could be for the good of society. Selling your own Halloween costume is just puffed up, man.
No, we start a company that sells Halloween costumes of all your favorite YouTubers, and we just put ourselves in there.
Oh crap!
Yeah, I like that.
About it.
I mean, you could do the Grace Helbig wig would probably sell big. The Hannah Hart would be awesome.
Yeah, this is happening now.
This is a pretty sad commentary, and I hate to be the one to say this, but I think the Anthony from Smosh wig could also serve as my wig if you just cut it a little bit. If you cut it in a few different ways, put a different product in it.
Yeah, I know you guys are very busy, and I appreciate your taking time. I have a few more questions from actual mythical beasts from the Rhett and Link community.
Really?
Let's see. Samantha Biso Effin says, and this goes right along the hairline, I guess, so to speak. Will Link ever be on Team Hair Goes Up again?
And she says again because I founded Team Hair Goes Up, by the way, and then I let Rhett take over.
Will you guys ever maybe will you switch?
I will not say it's beyond the realm of possibility. I will also not say that I understand why people would care so much.
Man Fadima asks, Rhett, what are your bearding secrets?
We're still hair related. This is on the face now.
Well, I make sure that if I sleep on the right side of my face on one night, I sleep on the left side of my face the next night. Other than that, I just kind of keep it trimmed.
Is that
no oil or anything? I don't have any special. I know that the guys from the Beard and Mustache Championships, they use, what is it called? Jojoba oil?
Yeah. Some
special oil. I haven't experimented with that.
I rub that on my thighs in the Dominican Republic.
Okay.
Finally, Rain Flaherty asks, what should I do if I encounter my clone or get mononucleosis?
Well, Rain, that's a good question, and it's very insightful the way that you ask it. I'm going to speak directly to Rain now. Because if you do encounter your clone, you will indeed have mononucleosis. And so the insight that you showed in your question to already know that fact means that you're well on your way of applying our answer. So now that we've established that, what should you do when encountering your clone with mononucleosis?
Well, you have to remember that if you encounter your clone, it's going to be a baby, most likely. People seem to forget that. They think that your clone is going to be the same age as you, but no, it will be another human that was created from your tissue that started at some point, and most likely will be introduced to you as a baby or a small, like a toddler. And unless you're really on your game that day, you might not even recognize that it was you, because you typically don't remember what you look like as a baby, unless you've got pictures of yourself as a baby, which is pretty common, I guess. So at that point, I would say any small child with mononucleosis needs to be taken to the emergency room immediately.
Oh, I thought that you had mononucleosis.
Oh, I thought it was the you that was the baby.
Nope, that's not what he means at all.
Okay, well, stay away from the baby you.
You will never encounter your clone unless you have mononucleosis.
That makes absolutely no sense.
That was my whole thing at the beginning.
Yeah, and it made no sense the first time you said it.
Were you even listening?
Not really.
But not understanding. Raise it. Raise your clone as your own self.
Rhett and Link, thank you so much for agreeing to an interview. I look forward to Good Mythical Morning on youtube.com/Rhett and Link 2. Or for more, go to rhettandlink.com.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Hey, this is Rhett and Link from YouTube,
host of Good Mythical Morning, and you are listening to Marconi.
Marconi interviews.